Hey everyone. I was jumping on just for a minute before I went to bed. I'm still getting used to TikTok Live, finding out when the best time is. So, goodbye. Thanks for playing. Hey there. I'm not sure if people are on this late, so I'm just seeing who's on, if anybody. Can you hear me okay? What's up, everyone? I'm just jumping on before I get ready for tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to host my show with Brian Shapiro. Without Brian Shapiro. It'll be the Paul Lance and Leonard Show, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm hoping I can stream it live on my channel here. If not, you have to go to Brian's channel, Pushing the Limits, with Brian Shapiro. Usually there's about 1,000 people here. Then we have a bunch of other platforms that we stream it on live with as well. But do you have any questions about the topic tonight or input, opinions? I don't have anything scheduled per se, nothing written out. I went to a magic show in Las Vegas, and here I am. If you haven't seen my video, you should watch it. I put it out about 3 hours ago. Can you guys hear me okay? It might be too late to do a live. Maybe people are asleep. Maybe this wasn't a good idea. I thought I would jump on just to see if there's any late birds up there. If not, that's cool. I'll just cut it short. Can you at least hear me talk? Or am I talking to myself? I'll type it in the chat. Might have a bad internet connection too. Nobody can hear me talk? Or is everyone just tired? Okay. Sorry, Clifton. I wasn't sure. I'm still new to YouTube Live. Can anybody tell me exactly what conservative values are anymore? I genuinely would like to know, like, what morally is morality even a factor anymore? Insurrection, beating officers, little girls in Epstein Island, sexual assault, felonies, tax fraud. Where's the bottom? I mean, is there a bottom? Or is it just maintaining white supremacy? Is that really all that really matters to these people at this point? As long as you're a white man, you can do nothing wrong. But if you take a knee, like Colin Kaepernick, I do not converse, argue, debate with MAGA. It's a cult of white supremacy. It's the remnants of the lost cause. They still think that the Civil War is about states' rights. They are unhinged. They can't admit that they're wrong. They've been told for decades that they're not losers, that they have to be an alpha male, that they have to win every argument. Everything is about winning. And if they admit that they're wrong, then they view that as a sign of weakness, which means that they're less of a man, that they're less masculine. They're not worth it. Well, what they think an alpha male is somebody that arm wrestles a bear, that eats like raw steaks on a wood board, and catches salmon with their bare teeth. Somebody that's a real man, that wins at everything, that always stands over their opponent, that wins every argument, that wins every debate. That's their version of masculinity, when in fact it's toxic masculinity. It's masculinity without empathy, kindness, compassion, where defeating your opponent is the only measure of victory. You see that alpha male mentality in baseball. When you see the dads yelling at the umpires and the coaches, come on, slide. Oh, swing. Yes. That's the other thing is when MAGA lost the Civil War and they went to the lost cause, for those of you who don't know, the lost cause was kind of like where MAGA started, right? They're saying, you didn't lose the Civil War. You were fighting for states' rights. They were patriots. No, they weren't. They owned slaves. They were garbage human beings. That's what they were. But they lied, just like MAGA, right? It's fake news. It wasn't about slavery. It was about states' rights. Whoa, look, Robert E. Lee's a hero. Look, your great-great-grandfather, he was a patriot because he fought for freedom, right? And you throw in a couple of keywords like patriotism and freedom and guns and Second Amendment, and they get all excited and they pull out their Trumpy bear and their happy little sock. Oh, he said freedom. Oh, look, he waved an American flag. Oh, wow, now I feel like a real patriot. They lost. And they've never been able to accept losing. Look what happened on January 6th. How did they handle losing there? Literally beat officers, and this country went, whatever. Don't want the black lady. We're going to take that. That's what we did. And we still refuse to address it as a country. Well, it's not a ban. It's an executive order. It's not a law. He's an idiot. He has no idea. He doesn't even know how an executive order works. Listen, again, this is about the white man being the victim, okay? So they're upset about the American flag being burned, but they were fine with the American flag beating police officers on January 6th. Those guys are patriots. Make it make sense, right? School shootings, thoughts and prayers. There's nothing we can do. Absolutely nothing. Did you see those 12 trans kids in college sports out of 500,000? That's not fair. That's not fair. I'm the victim. It's not fair. Cracker Barrel, Green M&Ms, Bud Light, Dr. Seuss. They're literally scared of their own shadows. They need to be the victim. And pretty soon, they're going to say, oh, you're coming after my Christianity. That's all they have is the victim. That's all they've done since the Civil War is played the victim, right? We didn't lose the Civil War. Oh, that's not fair. Oh, it's not my fault that I live in a trailer and date my sister. It's the libs. It's not my fault they don't have health care. It's the libs. I'm the victim. And then the Clay leader comes in the White House and goes, Billy, it's not your fault you're a loser. It's the libs. It's the immigrants. It's the Muslims. It's all the non-white people. Blame them for everything. And this is what you get. And then you have politicians that feed into it. And you have an echo chamber of propaganda like Fox News that perpetuates their white victimhood day after day after day. And this is what happens. I never hear anybody talking about reinstating the fairness doctrine where news will actually report both sides of the news. It's not news anymore. All news, left and right, it's all propaganda. Every hour, a new person says the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. Well, they're not Christians. Christianity is actually a religion. I consider myself a person of faith. See, that's the difference, right? I believe in free will. Be an atheist, worship a grasshopper. I still love you. That's what free will is. It's the free will to do and live your life the way you want. MAGA Pharisees don't want that. They want to tell you how to live your life in their way, which is 1787 America, where the white man ruled the country, designed the country to benefit only the white man. And ever since that time, every law, every piece of suppression legislation, voting, it's all been against to suppress anybody that doesn't look like me. And MAGA couldn't stomach a black man sitting in the White House instead of picking their cotton, and they lost their minds. They said, nope, we're going right back to the plantation owner. We don't care if he's a felon, a rapist, a sexual abuser. We don't care if he has dinner with white supremacists. We don't care if he causes an insurrection. We just don't want the black woman. And here we are. Racism is expensive, my friends. I'm in Vegas right now. Every driver I've talked to said it's really bad, dude. It's really bad. It's down. I think tourism is down 12%. That's a lot. I've even heard numbers of 20%. I can't verify that, but it's bad. There's a lot less people. I think the theater was half full at the show tonight that I went to. MAGAs crave victimhood. They need to be the victim. They don't want change. They're scared by diversity. Go look at the MAGAs online. What do you see? They're going to Mexican restaurants saying, leave our country. It's not your country. It's everyone's country. How about MAGA? Go back to your country. Go back to Europe. How about that? How about the Native Americans for deport your dumbass? Where's your papers? Yeah, I don't see them. This ain't your land. This was Native Americans' land. Part of it was Mexico. Part of it was Hawaiian. We took the land from Hawaiians. Now we're crapping all over them, and Mark Zuckerberg's buying it all up, all their ancestry land. All we've done as white men is take. That's all we've done since the history of this country is take and treat people that don't look like me as less than. And MAGA doesn't want to give that up. So they hide behind their Second Amendment. They don't care about well-regulated. They don't care about school shootings. They don't give a damn. School shootings to MAGA are a cost of doing business. But they'll demonize trans people. They'll gerrymander districts. They'll suppress the black vote. They have no problem doing that. They'll take away the rights of women to do what they want with their bodies. Look what happened with Adriana Smith. They forced her corpse to stay alive for almost 2 months because the fetus had a heartbeat. They kept her corpse alive. Do they care about the debt that family goes into? No. What if that kid has special needs? They don't give a damn if it has health care. They sure as hell don't care if it's shot in a school. They don't care if it has a living wage. They don't care if it has affordable housing. They sure in the home don't care if it has clean water or clean air. They're not pro-life. They only care about life until it's born. That's it. That's where it ends. After that, it's socialism, and that's bad. Look at how they treat the homeless people in D.C. They don't view them as human beings. They're an eyesore on their drive to work. It's disgusting. It's truly disgusting. It's sad. It's really sad. Just the lack of basic human empathy is completely void in their lives. It's truly, truly, truly pathetic. It's unbelievable. They literally voted for only themselves. They didn't care. Like, I talked to so many women that are survivors of assault. My aunt was one of them, mortified that 77 million people didn't see being an adjudicated rapist and sexually assaulting 25 women and 13-year-old Katie Johnson on Epstein Island. Nope. I just want sheep eggs. They hoard themselves out for capitalism. That's what I talked about in my video earlier today. These people, think about this, my friends. They wake up, think about this on a Sunday. This is their day. They eat their Freedom Wheaties because, of course, they put on their American flag hat. They pray to the flag. They worship the flag. They sing a song to the flag. They probably read Bible scriptures to the flag. Then they feed their pet bald eagle with Freedom Wheaties, I'm sure, or Freedom Mice, whatever the hell they are. Then they get in their truck and they polish the Constitution, make sure there's 7 trillion American flags. They turn on the music in their truck and sing God Bless America, and they polish their guns because nothing's more American than that. And they drive to church with F Joe Biden and Joe and the Ho bumper stickers because, nothing says I love Jesus. And then they say, love thy neighbor as thyself. And who did they vote for in the last election? Themselves. Literally the opposite of what they preach. You're supposed to build your wealth in heaven where moth and rust can get to it. And what did they vote for? I want cheap eggs. I want more money in my bank account. That's right. Because they're not Christians. They're not people of faith. They're Pharisees who have weaponized religion to scare uneducated white people into thinking that the world's coming to an end, that they're the victim, and the libs are from the devil. That's it. That's all this is, my friends. It's very simple. They're not very bright. They've been indoctrinated by the church. It's sad. It's really sad that we have this many dumb people in our country. Truly gullible and just ignorant. I don't know how you fix that. An American flag doesn't make you a patriot, Beard. Giving a damn about the people the flag represents, and that's what you fail to realize because you're not a patriot. You can shove the flag right up your ass. Nobody cares. You can be a troll all you want. You can look for attention. See, this is the example, and I don't give them time of day. But this is an insecure little wannabe alpha male that makes a fake name with a fake profile. Think about how sad and lonely Beard is. At 10:30 Pacific time, he comes on here and tries to troll somebody to get attention. Just think about this, honestly. Do you know how sad and pathetic and lonely that is? Think about that. He could be doing anything else. He can be reading a book. He can watch TV. He could be folding his laundry, getting his lunch ready for tomorrow. Anything. But he wants to be a troll because he's looking for attention. This is his base. They're sad and lonely. It's just the reality. This is who they are. They always need attention like little babies. They need their diapers changed. They need to be burped. They need their bottles. And of course, you have to have the Second Amendment because that's the only way the Beard feels like a real man. This is why you can't talk to them. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump ate a baby on national TV. Beard would say, that's fake news. Hey, who are you to judge? Hey, nobody's perfect. I don't vote for the man. I vote for the policies. Would you say that about Benito Mussolini? Yeah, he did some pretty bad stuff, but you know what? I really like his tax plan. I don't vote for the man. Hitler did some bad stuff, but you know what? I don't vote for the person. I really like his tax plan. Jeffrey Dahmer, yeah, he did some bad stuff, but you know what? I don't vote for the person. I really like his tax plan. That's the kind of person that Beard is. It's sad, and I don't know how you fix that. I don't. But giving them the time of day and the attention, that's all they want. That's why I don't argue with them. That's why I don't debate them. It's not worth your time. It's like talking to a cat that licks their own butt. That's what MAGA is. Yeah. Hold on a second here. There we go. Now he's gone. All right. I just wanted to use him as an example. That's his base. They have the mental maturity of about a 7th grader. Talking to different teachers, it's about a 7th grade level. They get off on controlling people, being this wannabe alpha male, and then what they do is that they look for a wife or a girlfriend that also has been indoctrinated by the church. Yeah, it is Make America White Again. That's exactly what MAGA is. It's Make America White Again. It's the Confederacy. We took the weed off the top, but we left the roots. Hey, moments. That's what this is. It's the lost cause. It sprouted up, and now it's wearing red hats. Stephen Miller is essentially the shadow president. He just is. There's stories from his childhood in high school where he would stop talking to people, his friends, once he actually found out they were Hispanic and not pure whites. Multiple stories about this. I don't think half the country voted for him. 90 million people didn't vote. 77 million for Harris, or for the felon, and about 75 and a half for Harris. From what I understand, the numbers are about 90 million didn't vote because they didn't think either party cared about them. Yeah, the fact that 77 million people didn't see January 6th when officers were beaten or sexual assaults or felonies is pretty disgusting. It is. Well, he won the popular vote because 90 million people didn't vote. But even that, the fact that more than one person even voted for him is the problem with this country. It's the lack of morality. Oh, Earth, that's a good question. I'm a numbers guy. I'm not a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, but I will say this. It seems very shocking that a convicted felon who caused an insurrection won every single swing district ever. I could say this: they're doing recounts in New York right now, from what I understand, a certain district. I don't know, but evidently not one vote went for Harris in this county that voted blue up and down the ticket, which is very strange. And Elon Musk also said the Senate would have been 51-49 if it wasn't for me. It's a pretty specific number. He could have just said you wouldn't have won, but he gave a very specific number. It just smells very fishy. And then even Musk said something to Joe Rogan, like while the results were coming in, seemed very strange. Again, I don't know. But here's the reality. Let's say something comes out. Who's going to do something about it? Be it Pam Bondi? Kash Patel? Pete Hegseth? He's just going to say it's fake news and they're going to believe him. Who's going to do something about it, even if it's true? That's the whole point. The Democratic Party has no backbone. I don't know about you. I'm almost more pissed off at the Democrats than anything, to be honest with you. I don't know how they crap the bed so bad. I mean, it's bad. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I'm not even a Democrat, and I'm not a Republican. Neither party serves the American people right now. Every Democrat should be in Washington, D.C. right now, without exception. If I was the leader, that's what I would tell them. You get in D.C. within 48 hours, or I'm going to censure you, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I remove you from power. That's what I would tell everybody. I don't want to hear it about your birthday parties, your bar mitzvahs. I don't give a damn. You protest in the streets. You sleep in the tents if you have to. You open up the halls of Congress, and you hold an unofficial congressional hearing or Senate hearing, whatever you want to call it. I don't care about the rules. I got blocked the other live you had because I asked, how do you feel that Jesus Christ is a black man? I blocked you because it's a silly question. Who cares what color Jesus is? I still don't care. Why does it matter? Who cares? Does it matter if Jesus is green or purple, white, black, orange? Who the hell cares? Why does it matter? What does it matter? Who cares? Why even entertain something so ridiculous? Go back to MAGAville or wherever you're from. My God, who cares? Jesus wasn't white, okay? That's all I know. Okay? Who cares? Why does it matter? But every Democrat should be in D.C. right now. If they can't open the doors of Congress, then get arrested. Hold a hearing on the steps. If that's blocked, go to the steps of the Supreme Court across the street. Somebody tell me why the Democrats aren't doing anything except for going on MSNBC. The Democrats are complicit in this, my friends. Right? They're eating the cats and dogs. How many Democrats, hey, did you look into that? Trans people, kids are having trans surgeries in grades K through 12. How many Democrats said, give me the names of 50 kids? How many Democrats said, give me the names of 50 kids or that have litter boxes? Give me the names of 50 schools that teach CRT. Give me the names of 50 people that were qualified as DEI. Give me the name. I hope that I'm wrong. Give me the name of one Democrat that said this anywhere in the last 6 months, and I'll buy you dinner. One Democrat anywhere, because I haven't heard it. They're just letting it go. One Democrat hasn't said, yeah. Not even one Democrat has said, why are you guys upset about immigration when you voted for a convicted felon? Not one Democrat has even made that. They're so pathetic. Like, this is what we have. You really want Hakeem Jeffries? You really want this guy in the midterms? This is the guy you want running the party? Really? That's the guy? I'd rather have my cat that licks his butt than have Hakeem Jeffries in there. And that's just keeping it 100, people. Yes, only consequences will change behavior. You're right. Too many Americans right now are lazy, they're complicit, and they're comfortable. They're not willing to do what's necessary, which is to stop working and stop paying federal taxes. That's fine. And say I can't afford to do it. That's fine. But here's what's going to happen. Let me give you this analogy. You're in a lifeboat, okay? You have 7 days worth of food. You see the island? You can make it there probably, but you have to leave the food in the boat because you have to swim there. No, I can't afford to. I can't afford to swim there. All my food's here. Nope, I can't to. I have to take care of myself. Cool. Hey, you're right. You have the freedom to do that. So you choose to stay on the boat. For 7 days, you sit there, you live on that boat, and you eat all the food, and the food's all gone. You know what's happened? That boat has drifted farther away from the island, and after 7 days, you can't even see the island anymore. Now you can't swim to it. So we can choose to be comfortable and say, I can't afford to do it. That's cool. Great. It's your right. You have the right to do it. Or you can be uncomfortable and do what's necessary. And Americans haven't felt enough pain. In the last 6 months, the one thing I have learned is that Americans will only do something if it directly affects them. It's the lack of empathy. Yeah, you're not completely wrong there, 22. I'm just disappointed in him. I am. I mean, Cory Booker voted for Charles Kushner. All 50 Democrats voted for Marco Rubio. 10 Democrats voted for the CR. If I'm not mistaken, 71% of the Democrats today or yesterday voted for the Israel bill. Is that right? To continue aid to Israel? Really? Is that right? Really? After everything, they're still getting paid to side with Israel. After the atrocities that are happening in Palestine. I mean, you can't even get a Democrat to say in public that what Israel is doing to Gaza is ethnic cleansing. Not one. I mean, what the hell? What are we doing here? It's wrong. Why is it so hard to say? Because they're getting money from AIPAC. Because Israel's funding them. It's a shame what's happening over there. It's an absolute horrifying, horrifying thing. Where's my cat? I don't know. I should make him president. I should make him minority speaker of the House. He'd do a better job than Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer. You know what Chuck Schumer was tweeting yesterday on Blue Sky? He was making fun of the Clay leader of the White House, asking him if he's sniffing his bronze. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I am dead serious. That's the crap that he's talking about. Let me see what Schumer's done since then. Let's see. Hakeem Jeffries. Let's see what he's talking about here. He wrote a strongly worded letter today. He wrote a strongly worded letter yesterday. So thank God for Hakeem Jeffries. What would we do without him? Eric Swalwell is going on the channels. A.B. Klobuchar is going on the channels, giving thoughts and prayers. I haven't seen Pelosi in a month. They haven't seen Schumer in like a month. I don't know where he's at. I don't know, my friends. I don't know where this ends. I'm a little tired. Sorry, I'm a little punchy. I didn't think the country would go south this fast. Yeah, it's, the part that really sucks is I know that the people that are going to feel the pain the most are the people that can't afford to feel the pain, the people that are poor, that need minimum wage raise, that need interest rates to come down, that need grocery prices to go down, that need a better quality of life. They're the ones that are going to get screwed in all of this. And it breaks my heart. It does. And they're going to lose their jobs. They're probably going to lose their house. And then rich people are going to come in and buy their houses and then charge them higher rents and they can't afford it. They're going to be homeless. And then we're going to have no money to help them because we're going to have no economy left. Vince, taxing the rich isn't the problem, my man. Think about it, okay? Fight the oligarchy. Great. Let's look at Walmart really quick. See, this is the problem with politicians. They don't tell you the whole story. They tell you what you want to hear because it sounds good. Walmart's the largest. I know. Listen to me. Hold on. Before we eat the rich, it sounds good on a bumper sticker. Politicians play this game. Martin Luther King said, a true leader is not a searcher of consensus, they're a molder of consensus. Politicians are searchers of consensus. Eat the rich. Tax the rich. Cool. You tax Walmart, okay? Cool. You tax them. 30%. Yay, you win. Then what? Okay? Think about it. Follow the money. Where does the money go? To the government. 15,000 employees at Walmart. The largest employer are in government subsidies, billions of dollars a year. I don't know if it's millions or billions. Okay? Because they don't pay them a living wage. The median employee at Walmart makes about $31,000 a year. The CEO makes 495 times the median employee. $17 million. Great. You tax the rich. The money goes to the government. Then what? No, serious question. And then what? Are those employees at Walmart making more money? Yes, I know that Elon Musk is richer. Let's do one thing at a time. Are the employees at Walmart making more money? No. And that's the problem. As much as I love AOC and Bernie Sanders, have any of them addressed the fundamental root cause? No. Because it's a bumper sticker. Oligarchy, oligarchy. Sounds great. But if you think it through, they haven't actually solved the problem. They've told you what it is. The only way to fix it is to change the tax laws. The first thing you have to do is undo Citizens United. A corporation should not have the same rights to donate as much money as possible to political campaigns. A corporation isn't even a person. It's a piece of paper. It doesn't exist. A corporation can't even vote. Why the hell should they be able to donate $300 million to a presidential campaign? How is Elon Musk donating $300 million? $300 million is what he donated. He's worth billions. How is you and I going to have the same power in an election as somebody that's that rich? You can't. It's not right. It's imbalanced. We have no voice. This is not democracy. It's an oligarchy. Until you reverse it, the next thing you do is you put caps on the presidency, on the congressional races and the Senate races. You put a cap on them, whatever that is. I'm telling you what the problem is, what the solution is. Then you change the tax laws. Once you pay somebody over $5 million at your corporate company, that extra amount above that, you don't get to write it off. It's on your own. I don't care. You want to give them a bonus? You don't get to write it off. You want to give profit shares? You don't get to write it off. Now, you want to pay your person more money? I'll incentivize you. In fact, I'll give you, once you hit a certain threshold, the closer you get to a living wage, which is around $22.55 an hour, $23 an hour, I will give you a 3 or 4 to 1 ratio of tax write-off for every dollar that you pay them more. I would be open to that. I have no problem with that. Because what that does, it gets those people more money in their pockets. It gets them out of poverty. When they're out of poverty, what happens? They no longer have 15,000 employees living off of the government, which means you just put more money back into the government. It's no longer a deficit. That's a surplus. That's how you fix it. Yeah, I'm all for that, Livy. But nobody's talking about it. Do you know why? Because Walmart donates to corporations. Do you know why Democrats aren't talking about AIPAC in Israel? Because AIPAC donates to Democrats. Why would we think that a Republican or a Democrat is going to change the tax codes and those people are going to make less money or give them less money? They're going to donate it to the other party. Why would we think they would actually ever fix that? I mean, that's literally the definition of insanity, right? Why would they take something away that benefits them? Has either party put a cap on stocks? If you run for office that first day, you should take all of your stocks and either freeze them or put them into money market accounts or bonds. That's it. Nancy Pelosi's worth like $240 million. There's a reason that people watch her portfolio. Why? Because she's a greedy little snake. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she's using her power to enrich herself. So did Mitch McConnell. Both sides have done it. And they don't pay taxes on it because of the tax code. So what's the next step? You taxed unrealized capital gains. Peter Thiel put $1,000 in 2009, I think, or 99. It's worth $5 billion now because of investments. He made good investments. But guess how much taxes he's going to pay on that? Zero. Why? Because he moved it and moved it and moved it and moved it. And he never paid any tax on the unrealized capital gains. For rich people, that should never, ever happen. Pick a net worth. Let's say if you're worth over $10 million, anytime you move a stock and you take a gain, you pay taxes on it. You should. You absolutely should. There's almost $4 trillion in this country of assets, of wealth, that has never been taxed because of loopholes. Why don't they fix the loopholes? Who do you think they give money to? Not us. To the politicians. Again, back to the money. We get screwed. Has either political party increased minimum wage since 2009? Nope. Gun reform? Cost of living? Nothing. The public should be given a 49% position of corporations with a minority market cap. Oh, you're talking. You're kind of talking about socialism on some level. You're actually talking about 22 is almost like profit sharing back to the employees. Is that kind of where you're heading with that? When was that Trump's idea? He wants to own them himself. Yeah, I'm not against that. I just don't know how you would have to pivot from a capitalistic society. And the problem is, that's the problem with capitalism. Let's go back to Walmart, right? Walmart goes into a small town that doesn't have a lot of money, rural areas or areas that are poor. They go in there and they lower their prices for 2 years and they undercut everybody. They put them out of business and then they raise their prices. And those people they fired, the small mom and pops, the places that have been in business for generations, then they have to work for Walmart. And they just took over the whole town. The entire economy is now dependent upon a Walmart or a Dollar Tree. Yeah, we can say capitalism is great. Is that okay? Is that cool? See, you have to regulate that. The problem is Republicans don't want to regulate it. That is the problem. Because Walmart gives them money. They're all against regulation, but they don't care if it craps on a small town and puts a whole town out of business. Germany rejected Walmart. Yeah, see? Dollar Tree did the same thing to his town. Yeah, Donald did it by accident. I mean, he's eating paint chips. Anybody that thinks he's playing 5D chess is an idiot. Yeah, that's the problem. Listen, in a perfect environment, capitalism isn't awful, but full capitalism leads to oligarchies, which is where we're headed. Capitalism mixed in with socialism is not a bad idea. There are certain parts of Karl Marx's ideas that weren't completely off the wall nutty. There were parts of socialism that actually benefit society. There's a mixture in there that's actually, and I think this is Mondavi, is that his name? The guy in New York? He's not completely off base here. Why would you be upset about not paying for a bus fare? You're saving people money every day. If you can use tax dollars to help people save a couple of bucks, isn't that what taxes are supposed to be for? Everyone loves slavery not because everyone loves slaves, but because they want the possibility of some. Well, 222, it's ironic is, I got to leave in a second here. I got to save my voice because I got to talk for 2 hours tomorrow. For those of you that don't know this, when Mississippi and Texas wrote their dissertations or whatever it is for secession, Mississippi actually put that abolishing slavery would actually be detrimental because the color of the black people's skin, they were the only ones that were qualified to work in the tropical conditions. And if they weren't able to do that and pick the produce, then it would be decimated for the commerce of this country. They literally justified the color of black people as a reason for secession because it was going to hurt the economy. I'm not even kidding. It's a real thing. But the lost cause still says, oh no, it was about states' rights. Yeah, sure it was. Sure. The VP of the Confederacy said the same thing, and Texas essentially said the same thing, that essentially that in not so many words that the white man was superior to the black man and that the black man's place was to serve the white man. That's essentially in a nutshell what Texas said. I could pull up the exact verbiage, but it's not worth repeating. There was some other terminology that's not appropriate for YouTube. It was pretty horrible shit. Yeah, we're already there, Earth. We're in fascism. It's not here. It's not coming. It's here. And we're just watching it happen. Every blue governor should not pay any federal taxes at all. They just shouldn't. I don't know why we're letting these red states, the Confederacy, drag us back into 1787. I don't understand it. I just don't. They still want to play nice. They're still playing by the rules. Eric Swalwell, I interviewed him 6 weeks ago. The same thing. We can't do a general strike. That's too demonstrative. Really? What the hell do you call this? You want us to deal with this for a year and a half? And just hope and pray that somehow we have a democracy and put you guys back in power? That's your answer? Come on, man. Like, is there anybody here, all 23 of us, that thinks that that's okay? Come on, man. Well, that's the problem, Tommy. He'll justify it. His base will justify it. And the Democrats will sit back and be like, well, maybe one day when we have an election, vote for us. Yeah, he could pass it to his kids. This could be like China. It absolutely could be, or North Korea. It's very likely. And his base would vote for his kids just because of their last name. J.D. Vance is not a cult leader. He's not here. Look, on Friday, I'm going to interview, her name is Daniela, how do we say her last name wrong? The Knitting Cult Lady. So on Friday from 12 to 2, the next 2 days, I'm hosting Pushing the Limits with Brian Shapiro. On Friday, I'm interviewing the Knitting Cult Lady. She is a cult expert. We're going to talk about the cult of MAGA. She's awesome. She's incredible. You can't just replace a cult leader. It doesn't work that way. He talks stupid. They like stupid. It's like flies on dog shit. They like it, right? They didn't want Harris because she was smart. She had a plan, and she spoke complete sentences. They wanted Hannibal Lecter, electric sharks and whales, and concepts of a plan and concepts of a brain. That's what they like, is crap. Okay? J.D. Vance is not that. Now, the hope is for the Heritage Foundation for Project 2025 is to use this useful idiot as long as they can. And hopefully, what their plan is, I'm not saying hopefully for me, is that enough rails will be broken from democracy that this donkey can just rule with that power without the charisma. Because I guarantee you, he's got the charisma of a rock. Nobody likes that guy. Nobody does. That is not MAGA's choice. You do not plug and play cult leaders. It doesn't work that way. And I'm going to discuss that with Daniela on Friday. Any more questions, my friends? I'm going to take off here. Bill has a brain. He doesn't need to win anyone over. He will continue with you. Well, that's the problem, Liv, is the plan for the Heritage Foundation is to break enough of the democracy that he can just rule with power and not be charismatic. I think that is the plan. Yeah, they have concepts of a brain. That's what MAGA does. That's going to be my next video thumbnail. Hi, I'm MAGA. I have concepts of a brain. That's what it's going to be. I mean, this guy literally talked about Hannibal Lecter and they cheered him on. Jesus Christ. Right. Kamala Harris intimidated the alpha males. She was smart, she was a woman, and she was a black woman. They were intimidated by her. They thought that their masculinity that was being taken away and that only a man can rule. And she intimidated them, and they got scared. So here we are. So, all right, my friends, I got to save my voice. I got to talk for 2 hours tomorrow. So if you guys can, I'm going to try to stream this live 12 to 2 the next 2 days. And then Friday, True Color, I guess you're looking for attention, isn't it? Yeah. Again, another wannabe alpha male at 11 o'clock looking for attention. It's pretty sad, his base. All right, my friends, have a good evening. Good talking with you, or good talking to you, if I should say.